Labs is the leading speech recognition solution for kids because of our extremely high levels of accuracy. Let me show you why that's important and how it works. When we speak to clients who are building voice-enabled platforms for young children, we find that generally they need something beyond a straightforward transcription of the audio file. The use cases might be, for example, literacy, where they display a word or sentence for a child to read, and then they want to return a pronunciation score to the teacher. In other cases, they want to search within the child's response for a keyword or phrase that will trigger an action, for example, by an animated character, or trigger a particular dialogue branch of a conversational agent or a chatbot. Our verification software does all of this with high accuracy for speech by children as young as 3 years old, and it returns confidence scores right down to the individual phonemes or speech sounds that make up each word. Let me show you an example.
The horse ran fast.
With verification, the client uploads the audio as well as the text they're interested in verifying. Then we return an utterance score, and we can break it down to the word and the phoneme level. So for each word we return a score, and for each phoneme we return a score as well. You can see the Z sound in run scored low because the child under-articulated that part of the word. Here's another example that contains a word that's slightly outside the child's reading level.
This is a racket.
Here we can see that the child actually didn't say the word "an," and therefore our system picked up on the fact that it wasn't said in the audio file. And this accuracy is something to note. You can give a good impression of accuracy by letting everything pass with flying colours, but that's not beneficial for anybody who actually wants accurate feedback on what was spoken. If you set the bar too low, you lead to lots of false positives, situations where you report that a child was correct when actually they didn't pronounce something as clearly as they could have. On the other hand, if you set the bar too high, you might penalise attempts that were actually correct. The SoapBox Lab system is capable of clearly and accurately discriminating between correct and incorrect attempts. And in fact, our system agrees with human annotators on this 95% of the time. Verification also works really well for multiple choice questions, command and control in gaming and robotics, and immersive conversational play. For any audio file, with a single request, we can search for 50 to 100 words or phrases simultaneously. Say you wanted to ask a child what their favourite animal was, and you had built out conversational dialogue for dog, horse, robot, and dinosaur. The child, in fact, says
chicken.
We can search for all of these targets simultaneously, and you can see here that all of them return 0 except for chicken, which returned 100%. These data points can be fed back to the developer, who then triggers an action based on this information. Verification can also be used in scenarios where the child might have an open-ended response. In these situations, the client may only be interested in certain parts of the response. Take, for example, a comprehension test. The child has read a passage, say about a dog, and we want to check how much they understood by asking them to describe the dog. Now, many answers are acceptable, but we're just interested in whether they hit on the key points. So let us simultaneously search for black, white, red, and let's put in a phrase as well. Black spots. And the child says,
the dog has black spots.
We can see that we returned 100% for black, very low scores for white and red, and black spots again came back 100%, and the full phrase, the dog has black spots, came back very highly scoring as well. This again shows how powerful the SoapBox Labs engine is. Its accuracy allows it to add real benefit to edtech, gaming, robotics platforms, and any other platforms where it's essential to accurately decipher child speech.